A friend of mine went on a week-long vacation last summer. 7 days. Beautiful place. Mountains, clear sky, no rush. When he came back, someone at work asked him, "Where did you go? I didn't see anything on your Instagram." He smiled and said, "That's because I was actually there." Meanwhile, another colleague had gone on a weekend trip. Just 2 days. But his followers saw 47 stories, 3 reels, and a carefully written caption about finding peace in nature, while he spent most of that trip finding the right angle for the perfect shot. One person came back with memories. The other came back with content. And the difference between those two experiences is far more psychologically significant than most people realize. Today we are going to break down the psychology behind people who feel absolutely no need to broadcast their life to the world. And if you are one of those people, what you are about to hear might finally explain something you have felt your entire life, but could never put into words. Let us start with the part no one usually talks about. Not everyone who left social media did it from a place of strength. For many, something painful pushed them away first. A breakup that made scrolling through happy couples feel unbearable. A period of failure where everyone else seemed to be winning. A moment of genuine vulnerability that got ignored or judged by the very people who were supposed to care. For a lot of people, going silent online was not some enlightened decision. It was survival. A quiet retreat from a space that kept reminding them of what they did not have or who they could not be. And that matters to say out loud because the idea that private people are simply more evolved is too simple. Some of them are people who got burned and chose not to touch the fire again. That is a completely valid reason. But what happened next is the part that changes everything. Almost every person who stepped away from social media describes the same thing happening after a few weeks. Something inside them gets quieter, not a fear of missing out. The opposite, actually. More like a noise they had stopped noticing suddenly disappeared, and for the first time in years, they could hear their own thoughts clearly. The constant comparison stopped. The need to check how many people liked their last post faded. The urge to prove they were living a good life slowly dissolved because they were too busy actually living one. And when you ask them what they miss about social media, most of them go quiet for a while and then say something like, "Honestly, nothing really." There is actual research that explains why this quiet happens. A study in the Journal of Consumer Research found that when people even anticipated sharing an experience before it happened, they enjoyed the experience measurably less. Just the thought of documenting a moment pulls you partially out of it. You are living it and packaging it at the same time, and your brain cannot fully do both. There is a psychological term for what these people naturally do. It is called private self-consciousness. It means the tendency to focus inward, to examine your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own reactions, rather than constantly monitoring how you appear to everyone else. People high in private self-consciousness are not disconnected from the world. They are actually more connected to it, just on the inside. They notice what they genuinely feel about something, not what they are supposed to feel, not what would get the most likes, what they actually feel. They ask themselves, "What do I think about this?" instead of, "How does this look to others?" And in a world that has turned almost every part of daily life into a performance, that quiet internal orientation can feel like something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. What this creates over time, and it does not happen overnight, is a sense of identity that does not collapse when the external validation disappears. That is genuinely rare. Most people are running a constant background process of checking. Do people approve of me? Does my life look acceptable? Am I keeping up? People who stepped away from the performance turned that process down, and something stronger grew in its place.
But let us be honest about the cost too, because there is one. Not posting in a world built around posting creates friction. You become harder to find. People who stayed connected to you through your feed have to actually reach out now. Pick up the phone, send a message, make real effort, and many of them simply do not. Some friendships quietly disappear, not with a fight, not with a reason. They just fade because the easy, low-effort connection point is gone. And yes, that can hurt. But here is what also happens. The people who do stay, the ones who text you, call you, make actual plans to see you, those people turn out to be an entirely different category of human being than the ones who were just passively watching your feed. The Harvard study of adult development tracked people for over 80 years and found one thing more consistently than anything else. The quality of your close relationships is one of the strongest predictors of long-term health and happiness that exists. Not how many followers you have, not how many people saw your story, how deep your real connections go. The friend who remembered details from a conversation months ago, the one who actually showed up, that is the data. There are generations of people who remember what life felt like before any of this existed, before silence was suspicious, before not posting meant something must be wrong. They describe the same thing. Life felt more theirs somehow. Not better in every way, of course, but more theirs. Like everyday moments had a texture that did not need to be captured to count. That instinct to let a moment just exist without turning it into content is something many people today have to consciously rebuild. It does not come naturally anymore because we have been trained out of it. But the people who never lost it or who fought their way back to it carry something that people around them can feel but struggle to describe. They are simply present. Whatever the moment is, they are fully in it. No part of them is already writing a caption in their head. Most people call that peace, but I think it is something bigger than peace. It is authorship. The quiet, powerful feeling that your life belongs to you, that your memories are yours, that your experiences do not need an audience to be real. And if you have never felt the need to hand that ownership over, you are not strange. You are not antisocial. You are not hiding anything. You just understood something that the rest of the world is only now beginning to figure out. If you grew up being told something was wrong with you for not wanting to share everything, if you left social media and people looked at you like you had something to hide, or if you have always quietly felt that your life is yours in a way that the internet kept asking you to give away, you were never behind. You were ahead of a conversation that is only now starting to catch up. If any of this made sense to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. If you think deeply about topics like this, you are going to find incredible value in the other MindVerse videos on your screen right now. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. And if you want to support this channel and help keep these deep dives going, hit the join button. Your support means more than you know. I will see you in the next one.